when I think about Jimbo Weekend and the way I got there and all the posts and everything, I come to reflect that it's all based on ego. And I've really come to question, what the value of ego is, because on one hand, I've started to associate it with our individual identity, right? That we're all unique and we're all different, and we need to be, because that's beautiful, because that's an expression. It's like an art. But I think we owe credit to the ego in a weird way. Like, if we didn't have an ego, we wouldn't be us, right? We would just be this beautiful light shining through us, right? This is life. We would just be life. So maybe the question is ego different than individuality? I mean, maybe it is. Do trees have egos? It just sure doesn't seem like it. They just kind of grow beautiful and let go when they have to die. I'm sure they... I mean, I'm sitting on some dead ones. Maybe we all have an expression of who we are, and then ego can grow to be something terrible in that expression if we abuse it. Because when I was traveling, I saw myself do it all. It was all about the I, the me, the look where I'd been, look where I went, look what I felt, see what I saw. It's always a me, and I've been in this weird conundrum lately where I've been posting a ton less and pretty vacant from it all. I don't know. I mean, I'm not looking for attention, but I'm just confused. I just kind of sick of posting that shit and just having other people dictate what my experience was based on likes or feedback. It's like, fuck that. I'm so sick of it. I don't... For instance, if I post a picture of this shot or this beach in general, a million people could say a million different things, but to me it means one very specific thing. So I guess what I'm learning is to take the feedback from others into consideration. Like, I look at this view, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's poetic. I think it's groundbreaking. Watch, the water's coming up to my feet. Oh, and there it goes. Beautiful, cold water. I get to feel that. And I do, and so many times I'm looking for other people to justify my experience. And it's like, I'm here it is, and once I leave, there it goes, Just, the validation piece is weird. We crave it, but I think we're more complete without it. You know what I mean? Like, we're more complete when we trust who we are and what we do and what we believe in. When we start listening to that, I think it's the ego, that inner voice, that naughty little mischief one that tells us to be sassy or to fight when maybe we should strive for peace or love. It's like, I don't know. I'm done giving in to it, and I'm sure I'll go back. I'm sure I'll post again someday, and I'm sure I'll battle it again. But I've just become I've become very in tune with myself. But the thing is, I've lost a lot of confidence, and I don't know why. I've gotten, and it's not physical appearance based. Like, I've changed my life based on, I don't know, based on a lot of things. Changed the way I eat because of the way it makes me feel. I felt great eating clean and, to be honest, mostly vegan. Drink a lot of water. Stop drinking beer as much. Do smoke a lot of pot. That's something we'll talk about. Yeah, pot's an interesting one. I mean, it changed my life for the better, but it's also brought me to intense periods where I don't quite understand it, where I'm confused and bewildered and in a slump and like a brain fuzz. But it's pushed me to be very spiritual. I've used cannabis to help even myself out, I suppose, and to let go of a lot of tough things. It's starting to rain a little bit. It's beautiful. Probably need to get out of here quite soon, but yeah, cannabis is, for a while I was ready to quit my job and go. The interesting part is there's been so many options and paths and things that I'm kind of pursuing as I get more and more bored and stressed with my job. It's like I'm trying to be fully present and here, but I continually fight it. I fight it and I look for options to get away from this whatever I'm in, and it's like there's a lesson waiting, and I just the work thing, I just can't figure out. I can't figure it out. I just can't get compelled to give it all. And it's not good. It's not healthy for the company. It's not healthy for me, but I don't have money to quit. It's strange. I'm getting to a point where it's like a pinnacle. Money is almost at equilibrium. The book's almost done. It's not eerie, but it's poetic is what it is. Like we're converging on the center point. And looking at a potential VP job for a company. Who thought I would be a VP? Like, come on. How do I sit back and this just pops up? Like, it's beautiful and it's strange, but I don't want to have to make the decision between like getting a job as a VP and getting offered a bunch of money, and then have to face like potentially giving up my dream. Like, that would be tough because I'd go for the dream. I might go for the money, but I'm just so like. I guess maybe I need to think about what I want with the book. It started with a million different ways and a million different thoughts. There's two sides to everything, and I started the book with a lot of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to write the story, I'm going to change the world, and now I've gotten to a point, and I'm not sick of it, but it's been so exhausting where I'm just cutting out the bullshit. I'm just putting down like the basic necessities, and I mean, I've come a long way, but it's kind of all I've got left. There's moments where I think about where the story's been, and I find myself thinking about New Zealand, sitting in a movie theater with my laptop next to me because I just finished writing in Starbucks. And I remember sitting in that movie. It was called Great All Black or something, or A Great One, or Chasing Great maybe. Richie McCoy. And it talked about an All Blacks legend. But I remember sitting there with my computer in New Zealand in a movie theater because the mall was next to the Starbucks, and I just downtown Auckland, and that's kind of been the story. Like me and this thing, and I truly believe like I'm connected to it. I almost believe it's more representative of what's been going on than I probably even appreciate or imagine. I mean, it's connected to me in so many ways, and sometimes I wonder if the book alone has kind of its own set of consciousness that maybe it was there before I gave it life on the paper, but like I do believe that entity, that idea, which is the story, which is the moral, the lesson, that all the pages combined represents maybe the same thing that I do, like a constant awareness of life. It's essentially, it's an observation, no different than the way I perceive this natural place, right? It's interesting, and I just wonder if it kind of has a life of its own, and perhaps maybe it's leading me. But again, there's a struggle, and I think there's a lot of uncertainty. You question what you're doing, you question where you're going, you question how it's written, you question every piece of it. And I used to be at a point where I was so set in my belief that I felt like I was unstoppable. And I still do believe I have a power like anyone else. I believe. I mean, I think we're all called to do something, right? And I guess something pulled me to writing. I don't even know. See, the question or the thought that I keep coming back to is this whole expression of what I've done. It was like the light in me kind of beautifully tricked me. Like, or it was a beautiful lesson. It wasn't a trick, but like it made me believe in the power of myself, and I had to kind of give in to the ego to risk it all, to give all my money up to chase everything I wanted to be, to go around the whole world for my experience, for this trip, because it was about me and I and blah, 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 blah. And when I came out empty with nothing, I mean, talk about that as a lesson. That's essentially what it was, getting to the bottom. And when the ego, when there was nothing left for the ego to feed off of, it was only me. It was me, myself, and I, and the realness of what I was. And I put that into a story, and I've still been putting it. And I believe it's going to pan out. But, you take a certain amount of discomfort, and there becomes a certain point where maybe you lose a little hope, I suppose. And makes you sad. It hurts, but that's why we keep going, because when it does happen, I don't even know what happening is. What do I want? I want to give people hope. Of course I want my name on the book. I did it, but it's like, I want people to read that and fucked up world with all the shit going on. Man, I want people to be like, give me a little bit of hope to hold on. Maybe understand why some of this gets so, why we get distraught and why we feel such negative energy sometimes. I'm trying to make sense of it. And people view that a million different ways, but not lying. Not lying. Pretty cool hat. Well, another wave coming in. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, it's quite nice. Everything's got a voice. We rarely look. I've had a lot of thoughts about substance, mushrooms, acid, DMT, because that was definitely a voice. It showed me something. But I think there's a pure and natural way to find that too. I believe that. Maybe not the same depth, but a different depth. Like a more pure depth. Because I think the journey in getting there brings you to the truth ever more spiritually. Yeah, you can take a substance and leap there, or leap to a certain place and get a lesson, but by the nature of doing it with stillness and mindfulness and embracing it, well, I think by the time you get to that special point, you kind of linger and maybe have a different appreciation. A trip can send you there in a hurry, and whether you're prepared for it or not, you'll could be frightened, but it's really quite beautiful. I think I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, probably a good sign.